Hey folks, thank you for joining us here on the Thread Raiders Twitch channel. We're here for another Get to Know a Thread Raider, and I am here with Cyrus Truth, who is
Hey,
just a fantastic dude. I got to play a game with him during Extra Life last year, and that was so much fun. We had a blast. That
we
was.
actually played a couple of games.
That's right.
Played
Oh God, yeah.
You were a
Because
cat in both of them.
as the days went on, like man, does my memory just go. I vaguely remember like that last game. I kind of remember CA's game. I just like the first thing I really did, I think, was that game that we played with Joy, and
Mm-hmm.
man, that just is stuck in my brain. We had such a great time.
It was great. Joy did a great job.
Joy did an amazing job. So I can't wait to see what she does this year. It's going to be fantastic. Um, Cyrus, I like to start these off with a simple question, but it's basically something from the heart. In your own words, what is a thread raider?
A thread raider is somebody who will, when seeing something that looks like they could use a little bit of levity, a little bit of cheering up, will kind of just raid that particular thread, spread some joy, spread some humor, maybe get a little racy here and there, but that's okay
Oh,
because it's
yeah.
all in the name. It's all in the name of just making somebody smile and forget about their troubles for just a minute or two.
That's a good answer. I like that answer a lot. Um, and it is. I think that's a cornerstone of the Thread Raiders. Yes, we try to raise money for charity, and yes, we try to do all these things. But man, do we really try to bring levity into people's days that need it? That's for sure.
The world is gone way insane and people are take things way too seriously.
Uh,
Um, and I'm speaking from personal experience. I am a stressed out ball of yarn and of anxiety and depression, but we work
aw,
through it because we find people that are willing to be there for us and say, "Hey, you know what? Just was thinking about you today. You're doing all right.
yeah,
I'm here for you."
yeah. Um, I love that. So um, obviously we're all gamers, and we're definitely going to talk about that. But I'm curious about what your day job is. What's your what does Cyrus do in real life?
I work retail. I manage a mattress store. I've worked for this company for the last 5.5 years and I've managed several different stores within the greater Dayton area where I live.
Yeah.
So Labor Day was a lot of fun for me.
Okay. Yeah. Like, oh my goodness. Oh my God. Labor Day sales.
Yeah.
Oh, oh man. I don't miss any of that noise. Like,
Yeah,
ooh.
12-hour day, constant stream of traffic. Fortunately, sold a lot of stuff. Now I just got to make sure that stuff stays sold.
Right. Yes. Um, that's the fun about sales. Not everything stays sold.
Yeah, product doesn't show up when it's supposed to, deliveries go askew, things completely out of your control.
Yeah.
Guest gets a bug up their butt about something or another. Yeah, that's gonna be the rest of my week. Just
Right.
getting through that stress.
Oh,
It's gonna be
okay.
if I could get through this week, everything will be fine. Everything
Okay.
will be fine.
Okay. Well, hey, we're on our way. We're on our way. It's already Tuesday, right? Um, so I brought up games. We're all gamers. We're all game dorks. Um, can you tell us what your introduction, or can you tell us about your introduction to tabletop role playing games?
My introduction was kind of a little bit different.
Okay.
It's not so much the tabletop, it was the whole role playing part of it. I am a wrestling fan, and
Okay.
there are wrestling forums, and there's role playing sections in wrestling forums where you basically create your own character. You
Oh,
you write out promos like hyping up your character for matches and feuds and stuff like that. Um, that kind of led into finding out other things as far as streams and productions of Dungeons and Dragons and other role playing games. I managed to get in with a group on Roll 20 about it's been 3 years ago now, and eventually that Discord led to me finding other Discord servers and D&D Twitter, and that's how I found all of you.
right. Okay. Wow, wrestling. I gotta say, I mean, I'm not like a huge fan of it um, today, but when I was younger, I really did enjoy that. I really watched the hell out of the WWF back when it was
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, like that's how I'm showing my age. I'm showing my age.
No. Trust me, you're talking my generation as
There
well,
you
so don't
go.
worry about it.
Um, and I mean, I even remember they had an animated series, you know, like Hulk Hogan and
Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling.
yes, oh my god. Oh yeah, I love that. Oh man. Captain Lou Albano with the rubber bands and shit and oh man. That's yeah. Okay. Um I that's awesome. I didn't realize that there was a like a role play community within that fan base. That's fantastic.
Yep. I mean, there's no real. It's like I said, there's no real tabletop game to it.
Yeah,
Although I'm certain somebody's developed it down the line, but because of course they have.
of course they
But it's
have.
just one of those things that you go onto a forum, you basically, oh, we've got some people running this show, and they write the show up. You contribute it to it, and you're basically who wins and who loses is based on how the people running the federation seems like feels like you did, and as far as the promos go.
Right. Wow. That's I like that. That's cool. Um so we're going to jump into our first rapid fire segment here. And the first one is an either or. Okay, so I'm
Okay.
going to name two things. You can I need you to just say one over the other. You can say none because that's completely legit, but you can't say both. Okay?
Fair enough.
All right. So, in true Thread Raider fashion, we start with pizza or tacos.
Pizza.
Okay. Video
because
games. Oh,
because pizza comes in many different varieties, and I prefer burritos over tacos.
so you're the second person to bring up burritos, and yeah, I'm a big burrito fan myself. So,
Mm-hmm.
yep. Video games or board games?
Board games.
Okay. Coke or Pepsi?
Neither.
Okay.
I
Winter?
don't. Yeah, I don't drink soda anymore. I gave that up about. Well, I mean, I'll drink an occasional energy drink every now and again, but most of my
Okay,
caffeine comes from coffee these days.
that's fair. Um, that's not the first time that I've heard that this round of interviews. Um, so yeah, you're in good company. Um, winter or summer?
Winter.
Winter. Game of Thrones or Stranger Things?
Stranger Things.
Marvel or DC?
Um, Neither.
Okay. Rock or hip hop?
Rock.
Okay. Spicy or mild?
Spicy.
Spicy. Texting or talking?
Talking.
Invisibility or super strength?
Invisibility. Because if you have super strength, people will ask you to move heavy stuff all the time. It's annoying.
Fair, fair. I'm always pulling things down from high shelves. Cake or pie?
Pie, but only if there's ice cream.
Okay, okay. And finally, cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Wow. I think you're the first person to ever really think about that question. Usually
I
people
mean,
have a pretty, yeah.
because most of my, if you want to call them pets, have
Right.
been dogs.
Okay.
But there was a we grew up on a small little I grew up on a small little dairy farm, and there were always cats around. So it's like, okay, I have
Uh,
this, I have that. Honestly, the animals I probably spent the most time as far as a owner pet relationship was show cattle for the county fair.
okay, that's completely fair. And I that's fantastic. You see, this is why I like doing these things. You learn a lot of little things about people. And cows. I
Yep.
like that. So we talked about gaming, um, but outside of gaming, what are your hobbies?
Um, I do a lot of reading.
Okay.
In my line of work, there's always a lot of dead time. So because you either are super busy or you don't see jack crap,
Right.
so you spend time reading. I read a lot of books about history.
Okay.
One of my favorite books was uh, How to Fight Presidents by Daniel O'Brien. It's a book. It's basically a historical look at all the presidents who have passed away,
Uh-huh.
and basically outline what makes them unique. Because, as he says in his first chapter, you kind of have to be crazy to want a job where you have to manage over 300 million people of varying different walks of life.
Yeah. I don't understand the want for that job. I want nothing near that. No. No. Um anything else outside of reading?
um, I don't know if I'd call it a hobby, but since the beginning of this year, I've been committing myself to actually doing some work at the gym.
Oh, okay.
I'm about 40 to 50 pounds lighter than I was at the beginning of the year.
Wow, congrats.
It's not been the most fun thing in the world, but
No.
there's a gym literally right next to my where I work, so I don't really have an excuse not to go.
Right. Um
But I mean, 4 days a week, an hour on the treadmill, and it works.
that's
Work
awesome.
works. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, that's fantastic. Um I do not have that drive. I don't.
You kind of do have to force yourself. It's one of those things that I don't get any enjoyment out of it, but the results kind of speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And it's much easier once you're in the habit of it than when you're not in the habit of it.
No, that's very true. Habits are hard to form, but they're also hard to break.
Mhm.
So yeah. Um, so in the Thread Raiders, we talk about food all the time. It's just a constant thing for
No,
us.
really? I hadn't noticed.
I know, I know. So uh, if you had to choose a last meal, what would that meal be?
Hmm. It had to be barbecue of some variety. I
Okay.
love barbecue.
Oof. Yeah.
I would say barbecue brisket,
Oh, yes.
some cornbread,
Hmm.
baked beans, mac and cheese, and some kind of greens.
Some kind of greens. Awesome. I'm a big green fan myself. I mean, anything that you boil down with bacon is fantastic, right?
You put it. Hey, I'm one of the few people in my family that actually likes broccoli.
Oh, me
It's
too.
Yeah, it's like I just enjoy broccoli. So anytime I get a chance to eat out and there's broccoli available, I'm like, oh yeah, sure, give me some of that. And my my dad and my two brothers are like, you're weird. I'm like, whatever.
Um,
I'm not the one. I'm not the
yes.
one. I'm not the one who wears cowboy boots at casual get-togethers. So who are you to judge?
Yeah, right? Right? I hear they're really comfortable though. I don't
I've
know.
heard.
I don't know. Um, so that brings us to our second rapid fire segment, and this one is word association.
Okay.
So I'm going to say a word. You just say the first word that comes to mind. Okay?
Okay.
Yep. Um, so we will start with tacos,
Tasty.
Twitter,
Confounding.
D&D.
Delightful.
Puns.
Hmm, fun. Because there's a lot of words I could have used for puns. It's one of those. It's puns are a dangerous thing. There's a right balance of how many puns is enough. Too many puns, and it's like, how far are we going off the cliff?
Um, well, I don't believe that there are ever too many puns, but that's just me. Kills.
Breezy.
Pizza.
Variety.
Dogs.
Friends.
Cats.
Scritches.
Oh, yeah. Pineapple.
Nourishing.
Mayo.
Solid.
Morning.
Eh.
Yes. Nighttime.
Relaxing.
Thread Raiders.
Family.
There you go. So we talked about, we talked about what your last meal would be. What would be, if you could ban any food from existence, what would that food be?
Hmm. As a child, one of the things I always dreaded my mother making, because my father absolutely loved it, was bean soup.
Okay. Yeah, that's
I never really developed a taste for it. It's just it just didn't have any sort of real substance to it. It's just one of those things that's just I never gotten over as an adult.
that's uh that's a good one. I was never a fan of that myself. My even though we lived in California, like my family essentially like emigrated from the South, and so we have still a lot of those Southern uh, cultural food things. And yeah, one of them was navy bean soup, and nah, nah, no thanks.
I always found it was just bland and tasteless, and the ham chunks didn't really do much to fix that.
Yeah, and the worst part is I hate ham. um,
It is kind of the third. It's kind of that for me, that third tier breakfast food.
it's it's a thing that my family would torture me with every Easter and Christmas is what they would do.
Mm,
You know. Um, yeah, that wasn't fun. So we talked about your work and we talked about your hobbies. But what does a typical day off look like for you?
mm, Typical day off. Usually revolves around me getting the stuff done that I didn't get done during the week, because when you work retail and you work 10-hour days, there's only so much time you have.
Yeah.
Um, but it's mostly just relaxing, catching up on the Discord groups, checking in on everybody. My weekly online game is always on Mondays, so that's one of my off days, and that's usually where I am.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's mostly just trying to decompress from the day and not stress out about the stuff that's left for me the coming day, not coming back.
Yeah. Um, that's a mood right there, for
Isn't it
sure.
though?
Yeah, totally. So we are at our final rapid fire, and this one's called Name That Thread Raider. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to say something, and you name the Thread Raider that fits that best. Um, and we will start with biggest flirt.
CA.
Fair. Most sensible.
Joy.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Biggest jokester.
Uh, I'd I'd give that to Dak.
Good one. Best smile.
Uh, Adam.
That's a good one. Softest heart.
Matty.
Oh, sweet. Uh, biggest eater.
Okay.
I know, right?
Um, um, there's not a all of the above option on this. I mean, we all enjoy our food.
I mean, it is fair, but I mean, there's always some people that talk about food more than others. That's for sure.
Hmm. Um, I'll go with I'll go with Nils. If for no other reason that that's the only one I could think of that I haven't named yet.
Oh, there you go. And finally, quickest wit.
I'd say Punicorn.
That's a good one. Yeah, yeah. She had to answer me to that. Like she said
Hmm.
me to a lot of things. So, good job on you for not doing that.
I like to include everybody as much as I can.
Poon, if you're watching, we love you. It's
We love you to pieces.
seriously so much. Um, and so that's our gig here. So Cyrus, uh,
Mhm.
go ahead and tell the folks at home where they can find you on the internet, and if you have any final words for the people watching.
Sure. You can find me on Twitter at the Cyrus T. I usually am posting random things and telling people that they're doing a good job and they should keep doing a good job because I believe in them. If and whenever I do stream, which is a very rare instance, you can also find me on Twitch at the Cyrus T. As far as last thoughts, first of all, I just want to thank you, Matty, for spending the time to chat with me. I'm not necessarily the most interesting person in the world, but this has been fun.
You are interesting. This is fantastic. I'm so glad we got to do this because we don't get to talk as often, and so and especially lately, I know I've been just caught up in a lot of different things. Um, I prefer the opportunity to sit down face to face with people when I can. And it's why I do a talk show and another talk show. I do a lot of talk shows. Um,
You have a couple of them that you
just,
do. It's just a
just,
few.
it's just a thing I'm obsessed with. But I love talking to people, and this was fantastic. It was really great to kind of get to know the person behind the screen a little bit better, um, and so I appreciate you coming on and doing this.
It was my pleasure, and it's just a parting thought for anybody watching this. First of all, we do appreciate all the support for our charity streams because this is a group of individuals that have a lot of big hearts and a willingness to want to do good in the community by just being ourselves, having fun, and we are grateful that you find us entertaining. We're grateful that you are giving these charities an opportunity to do some good in the world. And just for me personally, I am ever so grateful that I have met these people. These are some of the best people I have ever had the pleasure to play games with, chat with, and all that. And anybody watching this is feeling like, a little down in dumps or anything like that, just know there are people who care. There are people who want to see you do well and fight back that sorrow. And if nothing else, I, speaking just for myself, we're here for you. And I'm no Matty and everybody else who's a part of this community feels the same way.
Oh my god, dude, you're gonna make me cry. Okay. Oh.
I am sending you a virtual hug. You can't see it, but it's there.
Oh my god. Thank you so much, buddy. This was awesome. And folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back with more games, more randomness, more other stuff, and more of these, I am sure. Because I'm just going to keep making these until everyone refuses to talk to me anymore. So,
If nothing else, we can guarantee here at the Thread Raiders that your content will be 50% more wackiness and shenanigans than the next leading competitor.
exactly. That that you can take to the bank. So we'll be back, folks. Stick around, And we'll see you next time on Get to Know Thread Raider.
Later, everybody.